London Heathrow, Europe's biggest and busiest airport, transporting more than 73 million passengers every year.
Just your passport, please.
That's fine. How many passengers?
6.
This is so big, this is so complex, it's Gatwick on steroids.
With the flights taking off or landing every 45 seconds, Heathrow is operating at full capacity, and there's no room for error.
You know, if Heathrow sneezes, the rest of Europe and the world catches a cold.
We could have blown something, is that what you're saying?
Even the smallest problem can cause chaos.
915 and 919 have been cancelled. Nothing is landing, nothing's taking off.
And cost the billion-pound business a fortune in fines and lost revenue.
The responsibility is huge, can get extremely stressful.
This series goes behind the scenes.
This is the bit no one sees.
To follow the hidden army of staff, working against the clock to get thousands of planes away on time.
It does give you a rush.
Just watch his tail, guys. Wow, look at you.
The size of a small city, Heathrow has its own police force.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you to come with me, please?
Hello.
Paramedics and religious leaders. From the cleaners and baggage handlers
I wouldn't like it to run over me toes.
to the air traffic controllers and CEO.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Executive.
Everyone has a vital role to play
All good, clean fuel.
in keeping Britain's most famous airport flying.
It's in the hands of God, really.
At Heathrow, time means money. When the airport runs to schedule, the business profits. But even the smallest complications can cause delays, which carry big price tags.
Couple of thoughts for you.
Yeah, go for it.
One's at gate C61. A couple of floodlights went out on one of our jetties.
It's 12:15 on Thursday, and engineers Phil and Alex are being given their first job of the day.
Good, mate. More than you're worth, mate, so be careful with them.
They're two of 450 engineers employed by Heathrow and are responsible for fixing everything from the baggage carousels to the water supply.
I really don't like flying. Yeah, I used to love it when I was a kid. You know, taking off, it was like a little bit of a roller coaster ride. But nowadays, I think since getting into engineering, I know, you know, nuts and bolts. I know they can fail sometimes, and it just kind of plays on my mind while I'm in the air.
Phil and Alex have been sent to repair a light on one of the 215 jetties that allow passengers to disembark aircraft.
Actually, you might as well leave it where it is for now.
But the plane requiring the jetty has already started its descent. They only have a small window to repair the light, as an aircraft stuck on the taxiway will cause an expensive backup of planes and passengers.
Because the problem we've got now is it's stand maybe free, but it's only free for half an hour. You got an adjustable? Hi Stan, just Phil from T5 Engineering. We're only going to be about another 5-10 minutes tops. Is that okay with you guys? Are you working under pressure so the airport can carry on running? It makes you thrive sometimes, you know. And I think for me, I wouldn't say I handle the pressure well, but I just like a bit of pressure put on me. I seem to get results better, you know. Not too much, obviously, but you know.
With only minutes to spare, Phil connects the power.
Yeah, lights on, yeah.
And gets the jetty light working. But nothing at Heathrow is that straightforward.
Nah, 554. Well, we've done the lamp, but we've now encountered another problem. And we've got the air bridge stuck out on the apron.
There are hundreds of companies based at the airport, and they're all reliant on planes arriving and departing on time. Phil and Alex are in danger of throwing them out of sync, costing Heathrow thousands.
This is what I don't understand. All we've done is fit that new lamp. I don't understand why we haven't touched anything else. So we could have blown something, is that what you're saying?
What's your priority here?
Just to get the stand clear so they can get the plane on it. Whatever we did with fitting that lamp has knocked out the air bridge because we've got no drive. Oh my God. See if you can drive it.
That's gone dead again. Right, hold on.
Try now. Here we go.
Step.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean about pressure. You know, you got all these different sort of companies that are waiting, standing around waiting for that plane to land and come in, and then all the pressure's on you because the bridge isn't working. So yeah, you kind of, I mean, it's good in one way, you know, but sometimes it's a bit, oh, bloody hell. Oh, there was a bit of a panic there.
Yeah, a bit of a panic.
Bit of a panic. Well, we tried to fix the light, and we've now broke the air bridge. So you give us 5 minutes, and we're going to try really hard to get it back. Not our fault.
So glad I picked that job for you.
Philippines 720, contact ground 121.7. Super 295, hold position, contact ground 121.850.
Over 200,000 passengers pass through Heathrow's doors every day.
With a start time of on the hour, I'll call you back then unless it improves.
The airport is constantly striving to attract more business. But only having 2 runways restricts the number of flights that can land.
Speedbird 556, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff, service in 340 degrees, 10 knots.
To solve this problem, Heathrow has invested millions of pounds in helping to build bigger and bigger planes. This Qantas A380 has just landed from Sydney and never fails to turn heads. It's the largest passenger aircraft in the world and cost Qantas over £280 million.
Now, we'll like it to run over me toes.
The A380 is 280 metres wide and 73 metres long, the equivalent of 2 blue whales lying nose to nose.
Bye-bye.
Crucially, the huge plane can carry 520 passengers, nearly 100 more than its closest competitor. But getting these giants of the sky turned around between landing and takeoff poses new challenges for Heathrow staff.
Whoa!
Ginger's been handling our bags at Heathrow for nearly quarter of a century. And with the aircraft's 1,600 pieces of luggage, he certainly has his work cut out.
When I was a little kid, I used to come up here plane spotting, and my old dad, before he passed away, God bless him, he worked for British Airways. And he got me in here, and I've been here ever since. I love it up here. Yeah, I sit there and watch the aeroplanes all day long, it won't worry me.
But Ginger doesn't have time to watch planes today. He's got 10 more minutes to unload the rest of the bags.
Now, I'm not Rambo.
As the bags come off, the fuel goes on. And the A380 is a thirsty beast. Its tank can hold over 320,000 litres, costing more than £120,000. Under the plane, the engineer is checking for any faults.
Looking at the any damage on the wings, same as we did on the other side. Anything that's missing, anything that doesn't look right.
While an army of cleaners has been dispatched to make sure the aircraft is looking its best. They don't have long. The giant plane is expected to take off again later today.
We've got to work to the departure times. If the flight goes late, then there's fines to be paid. So we don't like to pay the fines, so we like to get the aircraft out on time. Otherwise, Qantas not very happy.
This A380 arrived from Sydney a few hours ago, and its outbound passengers are already checking in.
You're seated together?
It's the largest passenger plane in the world, and staff are racing against the clock to get it turned around in time for its return flight.
Welcome to QF10, everybody. Thank you for getting here nice and early. So, heading over to our first slide. Smiling is the universal language that everyone understands. So while we're interacting with our customers, making sure that we are smiling. So when you get that chance to recognise somebody back on board, then really make the difference and take the time to engage with them.
The aircraft's 21 cabin crew are meeting for their pre-flight briefing.
Departure time of 12:35, so nice and busy.
Then it's off to the gate to prepare the plane before the passengers start boarding.
Good morning, how are you? Hello. So we've got 5 minutes really until we want to start boarding.
Is there lots to do?
Yes. Lots to do. We've got quite a few passengers that require wheelchair assistance on board, so we're going to have to start boarding pretty quick.
The plane must be stocked with over 40,000 items, including 5,000 pieces of cutlery, 2,500 glasses and tumblers, and 100 meal carts.
Putting the music, putting the lighting on the correct setting. Let's check the water levels. We're good to go.
At the departure gate,
Lovely.
the A380's hundreds of passengers are starting to assemble.
How are we doing, ma'am?
We're doing very well. Fueling is up to 50 tonnes.
Have they started loading baggage yet?
Yeah, they've on the cargo at the moment in the front and the rear holds.
Okay.
And veteran baggage handler Ginger is busy loading the aircraft's 1,600 items of luggage.
And then they wonder why baggage staff get bad backs. Well, this is some poor soul's ashes. I haven't got a problem with carrying someone's ashes. You know, we've all got to go sometime in life. So, God bless you, mate. Hope you have a safe journey. Or lady, whichever. Oh. We'll put you in there, that way you won't move then. That's it. All nice and tight. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Before the aircraft can take off, the Qantas pilots must perform one final check to make sure that everything is in order.
We're looking for any obvious leaks in the hydraulic lines. There's also ground gear pin locking mechanisms. If they're in there when we depart, the landing gear won't come up. That would look pretty bad on us. If there was something that had been overlooked or something that had occurred, the clock will ultimately stop with the crew.
Once boarding is underway, first class will board on the left-hand side through gate door C. Once again, welcome to Qantas.
Thank you, guys. We should be pretty much boarding straight away. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Thank you, sir. Just first door on the left.
Lovely. Welcome. Thank you. That's everybody on. On time.
Another good day done. Never seen the inside of an an A380. No, the only way I think would probably either win the lottery or get a PPI payout, I suppose. But one day, you never know.
Last year, Heathrow received 73 million passengers, and with even greater numbers expected in 2015, the airport is feeling the strain.
Heathrow operates at full capacity. Every 45 seconds a plane either lands or takes off throughout the day. That doesn't happen at any other airport in the world. And the challenges that brings is that if anything goes wrong, then suddenly there's a huge knock-on effect. And there's quite a significant cost to us if we don't get it right.
To relieve some of the pressure, Heathrow has spent 4 years and £2.5 billion demolishing and rebuilding a new state-of-the-art Terminal 2.
Our job as the airport is to make sure you can get into the airport, through the airport and on your way as quickly as we can. And that's what we've done here with Terminal 2.
And with so much money and Heathrow's reputation at stake, it's imperative that the new Terminal 2 is a success. This morning, at 1 minute to 6, it will be receiving its first passengers.
We're going to be making a little bit of Heathrow history, which is pretty exciting, a wee bit daunting.
In the control room, Fiona, the head of passenger experience, is giving her team one final pep talk.
Yeah, we're good to go.
So we're just waiting on the first flight now. I'm feeling apprehensive. We're getting the first flight in and the first flight out. That will be, I think, a bit of a comfort. But to be honest, we want the whole day's schedule to go without a hitch. So until 2100 this evening, we've got our 2 last arrivals, and that's the point I think we can take a sigh of relief.
Central's open for business. People are checking in. First flight's in at 5:59, so 1 hour's time.
Service team leader Demetrius is looking out for anything that could derail the day's events.
There's probably going to be a bit of nerves about, but this is what we've been working for, so... You can't beat it. There she is. It's our first flight coming in, United from Chicago. Yep, all good.
Now the plane has landed, the real test of the terminal is to get the passengers processed as quickly as possible.
They're the first, that's it, and I hope they like it.
Planes are moving, which is great. The passengers are moving. There's no queues in check-in and the bags are moving. So that's what we needed to happen. So thank you for what you're doing down here.
Terminal 2 Service Centre, may I help you?
But no terminal at Heathrow can rest on its laurels.
We've got the inbound United flight, which is coming in at gate 43.
It does mean a hell of a lot to me. I've been here since the beginning. It's fresh. It's a new start for everyone. So, yeah, I'd say Terminal 2 will be the best in the world. But as you can see, the terminal's running fine. All we need is one small thing can generate into a massive incident. Anything can happen at the airport.
Seagull combi.
Safety is the #1 concern at Heathrow Airport, and the Airside Safety Department are responsible for maintaining it.
Roger. Take the first left, John Alpha, Yankee, 520 for push lock.
Airfield up, Seagull.
They deal with everything, from marshalling aircraft to removing hazardous debris from the runway.
Well, has anyone got a piece of cutting equipment?
But one of the biggest risks to aircraft and the smooth running of Heathrow's whole operation are birds.
Tower Seagull's entered runway 27 right behind the departing A319.
Seagull has vacated, thank you.
It's 2:30 on Monday, and Mark and Jeff from Seagull Team, the specialist bird unit, are tracking a rogue kestrel spotted over runway 2.
The birds are a big danger to the aircraft. If they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, got ingested by an aircraft, damage the engine enough to bring the aircraft down. There he is up there.
Airside Safety have a number of tools in their arsenal to fight against their feathered foes.
So I can get out of the vehicle and stand there flapping my arms, which is quite effective. Got the horn of the vehicle, it's another good effective one. You pull up, sound the horn and the birds will disperse.
Even just clapping your hands or...
Clapping your hands?
Banging the car door, it's quite effective.
And we've got you, Jeff. We've got kestrels, falcons, we've got golden plovers. They're all distress calls that have been recorded to disperse the birds. We'll try a falcon. It's a larger bird of prey. See if we can disperse them using that. Not having too much effect. It's a bit of a battle with the kestrels. There's quite a few here now at Heathrow. We believe it's the voles in the grass areas that they're being attracted by. So they tend to move off, and then we'll find them further down alongside the runway somewhere. There he is up there.
Is that the same one?
Yeah. It's a cat and mouse game at the moment. Keeping the airfield moving is our biggest task. Minimise the impact on aircraft being held up, but in a safe way.
With the Kestrel unwilling to leave the runway, Mark has one more trick up his sleeve. His trusty starting pistol.
As you can see, the bird's been dispersed away from the aircraft, which is all good.
Back in Heathrow's recently opened multi-billion-pound Terminal 2, the news isn't good.
Parce qu'il n'est pas parti de Montréal. À cause de problèmes techniques.
A delayed flight to Canada, coinciding with one of the busiest periods of the day, has resulted in the check-in area being overrun.
It's chaos, isn't it? It's chaos. Everywhere it's chaos.
Echo base, copy, thank you.
Right, OK.
Demetrius has been dispatched to deal with the unhappy passengers.
Right, so you need to check in on the self-service machines,
Yeah,
get
we
your
tried
baggage
that,
tagged.
it didn't work.
So then you stand here and wait for you to go to the check-in assistance desk, just behind this gentleman here. Thank you.
The new high-tech machines, which allow passengers to tag their own baggage, are also meeting some resistance.
Right, you need to go to the self-service machines.
No, I don't do that.
You have to, sir, otherwise you can't get your bags checked in.
I don't want to. I want to get on the bloody plane.
Yeah, so you need to get your bags tagged, otherwise your bags won't make it. So you need to get bag tags, boarding cards.
Oh.
Yeah, so try and use the machines to check in. So pretty simple step.
But with passengers still disorientated and financial penalties looming, Demetrius breaks out his secret weapon.
Perfect. Out here, one objective, get them in that line and get their bags sent down because we've got more to follow. So, yeah, you sort of like get into a zone and you start focusing. You know what to do. Just get on with it. I'm going to send you some passengers. Sir, go to my colleague there in the white shirt. Keep them going that way. Chris, they're coming behind you. This way, please. They're coming to you now, my friend. This way, please. This way, please. Tag bags. Sir, tag bags to this side. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Day in the life in Terminal 2.
With constant pressure to keep the airport moving, Heathrow's 81 kilometres of internal roads and tunnels are busy with hard-pressed workers. The airport tries to maintain a balance between speed and safety by imposing strict speed limits.
It's just to ensure people slow down as the area they go. Not out to catch anyone in particular. I'll see you down there, mate.
Enforcers Dan and Steve are on their daily hunt for airport drivers who are tempted to break the rules.
Most people should be sticking to the 20-mile-an-hour limit. There are some people here who will always try and break the rules, but that's what we're here for. What we'll do, Steve, is we'll pull them in that lay-by. Yeah. So hopefully we get a bit of joy. Might have one. 21, 22, 24. It's the same as outside, but these points don't have any effect on your outside licence. And what it does have an effect on is possibly your job. It's a hard world. We had loads here the other night. Absolutely loads of them. It can be funny how quickly word gets around. Phone calls will be made to offices just to say we're out and about.
Dan and Steve take their hunt for speedsters to a notorious stretch of road on the other side of the airport.
Much busier here. but 39's a bit wrong. Hopefully it stays on the camera until he gets here. Afternoon, sir. Speed limit in the tunnel? 39. Airside driving permit and blue pass, please.
With their first ticket in the bag, business really starts to pick up.
Number 2. Speed limit on the airside right?
It's 20, isn't it?
36 and going, but I took the finger off. All right?
36 miles an hour.
I do feel for people. There's always a finger of blame to point at someone. If an aircraft's late, you are under a lot of pressure, and the last thing you need is someone in a high-vis jacket pulling you over, telling you that you've gone 6 miles an hour over the speed limit. But I've seen videos from the police say 6 miles an hour can make all the difference when you go into someone's.
He was not a happy bunny. He thinks we should have better things to do.
Eh?
He said he thinks we should have better things to do. And why have we picked on him when we've let so many other people go? But yeah, real attitude problem, that guy.
I don't understand why people get upset and annoyed. Everyone's got a job to do. Right, let's see if we can get one more.
With flights to 84 different countries, Heathrow is at the centre of global air travel. But what makes the airport appeal to passengers and businesses can also attract unwanted guests. It's midday Tuesday, and protesters have turned up in Heathrow's new Terminal 2 to demonstrate against the terror group ISIS.
Lima base, Sado.
Duty manager Andy is responsible for maintaining the peace in the terminal.
We're trying to negotiate with this protesters to go out on the forecourt. Are we able to make start of closing the inner lane on the departures forecourt just to keep traffic away over?
If the protest gets out of hand, it could become a PR disaster for Terminal 2, the newest jewel in Heathrow's crown, and cause costly disruptions.
Why Heathrow? Because we know that lots of people from around the world actually come in and out of Heathrow. We wanted to get our voices heard to those people.
I've made my way back to T2, standing by with Lima 2.
Yeah, that's copied. I don't know if you heard the last message, Dan. We've offered them the opportunity to come out and protest on the forecourt, but they're not playing ball at the moment.
You're supposed to help us, not to surround us, not to watch us. If ISIS come to victory in Kobani, will be big boost for them, and tomorrow come to you one-to-one.
They've declined our offer to go and stand outside and protest. The police said they can start taking them out. It's going to get a bit messy if we start arresting people here at the moment.
Heathrow doesn't allow protests in its terminals and can eject demonstrators. Andy has a difficult decision to make.
What I would suggest is to leave them where they are now. I don't want to have anyone being dragged out of the terminal being arrested.
Andy's gamble has paid off. The demonstrators leave peacefully of their own accord.
Thank you. Good luck with your protest.
Thank you very much. Right. Thank you very much for being so patient with us.
I hope everything works out for you.
I appreciate this very, very much, and the whole community do as well. Okay.
Good luck with you, all right? Okay, cheers. Well, they didn't stop our operation. We didn't stop their protest. It feels like, at the moment, a bit of a win-win for us right now.
Speed 115 straight ahead, hold short link 13. Lufthansa 3 Kilo Yankee. Just wait for the Virgin 320 behind you to taxi away, then push approved face west. Shamrock 172, good evening to you. Follow the green lights, just and it's 221 left.
Heathrow never sleeps. While the last flight departs at 11 p.m, the rest of the night provides an opportunity for essential maintenance work to be carried out.
Yeah, we're on our way to Sierra 4 now. That's the southern part of the runway.
It's 20 past 10, and foreman Peter and a team of 23 asphalters are waiting on the edge of the runway. They work for a private firm hired to resurface a large section of the runway, and need to be finished by the time Heathrow's first arrival lands in the morning.
We can't actually access the runway until the last flight is out. Time is the most important thing. If everything goes right, you usually got an hour to 3/4 of playtime.
But it isn't just the clock that Peter and his team are up against.
Just the hint of rain it's a no-no. It's a stop then. It's in the hands of God, really.
Speed 256, follow the greens, hold short of Delta, stand is 561.
As you can see now, we're all ready to rock and roll.
Not finishing the job on time will incur severe financial penalties.
When we got on at 22:45, we should all be wrapped up around about 4 o'clock. Always confident, always. Can't afford not to be.
In their 6-hour window, the team must lay over 285 tons of asphalt. But it has to be perfect.
If there's a weak spot, an aircraft will find it. You know, if a plane will found a void, the weight that the plane, the wheel's carrying, it's just going to sink. It's just going to drop into a hole as such. And a sudden jolt, people can lose their seats, get thrown about in the aircraft. It's not good.
Unfortunately for the asphalters, bad news is heading straight for them.
This wind is getting up. Although the rain is not due until 4 o'clock in the morning, it feels as if it's not far away at the moment. If it does rain, we could have problems.
While Peter's team take their chances with the weather, elsewhere, Heathrow's police detachment is taking no risks when it comes to security.
Clear safety zone.
The airport becomes a different world at night time. It's just got a different feel to it, really. The whole night is different, I think. The airport's 24 hours. It doesn't close down. You know, it's not like other airports where they lock the doors. There's a hell of a lot we don't know. I mean, there's so much to Heathrow. It's just massive. It's huge. And there's still lots and lots that we don't know. There's still roads that we don't know. You know, every day you're finding a little door here. Where does that door go to?
The officers are looking for anyone who doesn't have a legitimate reason to be at the airport.
Need to move off, please. Thank you. We don't allow any vehicles to park on any of these roads leading into the terminals. There's obviously a security threat.
Their patrol includes a sweep of the terminals, which, unlike the runways, remain open all through the night.
Have you got any ID with you, your passport or anything like that? Or have you got a ticket?
Yeah, I got my passport. I think so, yeah.
This is my flight, innit?
So when's that for?
No, this is my last flight when I come here.
So you came from Stockholm?
Yeah.
And what's the purpose of the visit?
For me to go around and shop. That's
right.
why I come just to wait. And tomorrow I go around. In the day is okay, but the night I don't want to be there. I was in city center, but I just come back because I was like, it's better for me to be here because I don't know it's not safe to be there.
All right. Where did you sleep last night?
Last night I stayed in the city center because I go around in Victoria Station just to wait, like, so when I go home.
Okay. Are you homeless at the moment, mate?
What do you say?
Are you homeless at the moment?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Keep your head down. Make sure you clear your rubbish up. Get out by 6 and everyone will be happy. All right?
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Do get a lot of people that are homeless, haven't got anywhere to sleep, really. They do bring with them their own suitcases and bags with the intention of looking like a bona fide passenger.
It does attract a lot of homeless people. It's warm, it's dry, there's facilities to use, and if we can assist them in any way we can, we will. But obviously, it is an offence against the Heathrow bylaws, which we are here to enforce.
Are you homeless?
No, really.
Have you been in contact with any social services at all?
No.
You got money with you?
Not yet.
You haven't got any money?
No.
Where'd you sleep last night? Here?
No, no, it's not on me. No, hostel. You don't believe me? No.
Upstairs there's a place called Travel Care. Okay, they can help you get somewhere to stay. Okay, all right. Okay, so hope it goes well, and I hope we don't see you tomorrow night.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Well, no, I hope I don't see you tomorrow night.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. All right.
See you guys.
All right. A lot of the time they're just left to have a little sleep and then sent on their way. Now those are the guys that are pretty much okay. It's the ones that sleep amongst all the other passengers. Sadly, a bag occasionally goes missing, and those are the guys that we've got to look for.
It's gone midnight at Heathrow, which means the appearance of a number of employees who only come out at night. Mary has a big task to complete before the airport can open for business.
I mainly take care of all the chairs in the airport. Getting them done on time is the big thing. Got to finish this all by 4:30, because customers start coming before 5 o'clock.
How many chairs do you clean in one shift, Mary?
Oh, now, I couldn't even tell you that, darling. I never count them as such. I never have time to count them. I just keep going like this. It's very important, actually. Even when you go anywhere, restaurant or even in the underground, and before you sit down, you look at the chair. So we try and keep them all looking good. It's nice when you see them done. Job satisfaction, you know, when you've got them all done and they look nice. And when you have no complaints. That's the best part. That's it, one section done. Next one.
While Mary continues her work inside, outside the terminal, the runway is being resurfaced by a team of asphalters, overseen by foreman Peter.
We get them out of this area, down. Let's go up there somewhere.
It's 2:30 a.m, and they need to hand back the runway in time for the first plane to land. Or there'll be heavy fines to pay. But their worst fears have just been realised.
Well, as you can see now, it's starting to rain and it's getting heavier. The rain was forecast for 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's coming an hour and a half earlier. Weather's weather. Can't help it, can we?
Rain stops the asphalt from sticking to the runway and can create dangerous cracks in the surface. But with the top of the runway already exposed, the asphalters must fill in the hole before the rain gets any heavier.
This is when all their skills come into action. Fingers crossed.
It's a close call, but it looks like Peter and his team will get the job done.
I think we've beat the rain. We're nearly finished. It's just a matter of just cleaning up operation now. Get the white lines on. That'll be it. I'm going to go home now, have a shower, cup of tea, and see the wife off to work.
Now all the workers must clear the runway. The first arrival of the day is already making its approach.
Got 202 Mike, thank you very much. Hold position and contact ground 121.7. So we're 295, start time of 1256. I'll call you back then unless it improves.
Heathrow's £2.5 billion Terminal 2 received its first passengers earlier in the year. This morning, the terminal is reaching another milestone as staff prepare for a special visitor.
2 things you don't do. 1, don't touch. Second one, don't offer your hand to shake. She'll offer her hand if she wants to shake your hand.
The Queen is coming to officially open the building, as she did with the previous Terminal 2 over half a century ago.
It gives me great pleasure to inaugurate this terminal and to name this building Queen's Building.
Right, okay, good morning everyone. The plan is to just provide you with a brief of where we are with the celebration event.
Fiona, the head of passenger experience, and her team are putting the finishing touches to plans for the day's events.
We're talking just short of 1,000 guests coming for the event today.
Really pumped, really excited for this. Oh, what a view. So the Queen will walk in this way. This is the way that her route in the building. And then she'll move in through here. She'll need to line up here, and then the Guard of Honour will, if you like, direct her round. It's more of a little bob, isn't it? It's a little... Is that right? The foot goes behind, I think. You just need to come up to the Queen because she won't come to you.
On such an important day for the airport, Heathrow's CEO, John Holland Kay, has an additional reason to be proud.
Thank you very much.
I've got my 2 daughters, and the younger one, Emily, is going to be presenting the posy to the Queen. And this is something that we did 59 years ago when the first Terminal 2 was opened. And the daughter of the airport's minister gave her a posy. And so we're repeating that.
We're doing a rehearsal because I'm gonna give the Queen some flowers.
Do we look evenly spaced? Are we a decent line-up? We're a bit ragtag and bobtail? Oh wow, she's got the most amazing colour on. She looks sensational.
This really is a statement of ambition, to create at Heathrow one of the world's best airports. That sense of duty is one for which we take inspiration from one of our most frequent flyers, Her Majesty the Queen. She was as cool as a cucumber. She's completely unfazed by meeting the Queen.
It was amazing. I felt a bit wobbly when she walked in because it's just such a moment, isn't it?
Well, 60 years ago, no one could have predicted where Heathrow would be now, just the size, how important aviation is. So you can't forecast exactly where we will be in 60 years' time. But I think if we can ensure that Heathrow is still the leading airport in the world, that is a great legacy for us to look forward to.
Next week, the hunt for missing passengers.
Air India, ma'am.
Just here for the Air India flight. Still searching, Mona, still searching.
The battle to keep Heathrow safe.
Everyone seems to think they're being picked on. That's always the first question you get. Why me?
And making a living from the airport's famous faces.
You just look at the camera for once, please, kindly. Thank you very much.
Here this Sunday on ITV. Say what you see, it's Catchphrase at 7:15. And at 9, did everyone make it through the air raid? It's the last in the series of home fires. And catch up on all new long lost...